people, what is up? How you guys doing today, man? I'm over here by myself, but I'm gonna be joined very soon by other people. What's up, all the 33 people? Fucking raid happening all at once here. So very happy for that. But here's the thing, guys. I am gonna be joined firstly by Jet Jackson. I'm gonna see if she comes in here and see if it works all fine and whatnot. But yeah, let me go and lower this shit for a second there, buddies. Jeet, can you hear me? Go to Jet.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing okay. Got up from a nap right when you sent the link.
Oh, well, nice. I mean, I wish I would have had map. I said map. I meant to say nap. But yeah, anyways though, guys, yeah, I'm over here chilling. We're going to do some reviews, lots of reviews today. So just so you guys know, a big part of the show essentially is a goodbye show for Alan and Ganja Guru. Now, they will be coming here soon. What you said? Resub didn't share? Huh, I don't know why it didn't work. That's kind of weird. Ryan says still under Vanguard. Let me go ahead and change that. Yeah, I had a lot of stuff I had to do last minute here. Let's fix that. Thank you for letting me know, though, dude. Appreciate that. I still, by the way, it's like, even the thing that went out to send to people's emails, like, we're playing Vanguard. We are not. But yeah, Black Knight says, I have an associate's degree now. Nice. Very happy got an associate's degree. That's kind of badass. I do not have any degree. I don't even, like, I don't have, like, a physical version of my high school diploma. So I'm pretty upset about that. Even though I do have my high school diploma, it's just not, like, a physical version of it. But, Jed, does that make me a lesser person? I'm going to say that yes.
Oh, sometimes my space button doesn't unmute me. But anyways, yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the moment has passed. But I still suck because I don't have a high school diploma. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm just saying congratulations. Hope you put it to good use. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. Like, don't actually like think about this in a sense of like, you know, you have it, so then you have like this big congratulatory like, you know, like it's over. Like, no, your journey is just beginning. So hopefully you can use that, you know, and keep it going forward, man. I've seen lots of people fuck up. Some dude I knew, a friend of mine that worked at Safeway, his grocery store, he got his fucking refrigerators degree, which is a very expensive, like, I forgot what you call it, but it's not called refrigerators degree. It's called something else. But he got it and then didn't do anything with it. And his tuition was literally $75,000. So he had to pay that for nothing. He's still working at grocery stores. So don't fuck yourself over, man. Not to be negative about it, but I just thought I'd say that because, you know, yeah, it can always happen. Oh, that happened to you, Maurice? I did not know that. Holy shit. That sucks. But anyways, people, I got some music playing in the background and everything, too. We'll talk about some topics and everything. I'll get into BALTO. Sounds like I'm talking about, like, a testicular toe, which is fucking odd. That would be very stupid. But BALTO, it's this anime movie. Well, I guess I'll save that for later on, actually, because I was going to bring it up now, but then I'd probably get too lost in the conversation talking about fucking BALTO. But, Jet, what have you been up to other than napping? What has been your weekend, you know, activities?
Honestly, I really didn't do much this weekend. I mean, I watched a little bit of anime. Last night I drank half a bottle of rum chata.
Rum chata.
But that didn't do anything to me. So then I drank some soju. I drank half of that. I did like, I think 10 shots and it wasn't doing anything for me. This point I just need to drink moonshine. Yeah,
I'm Jordan in the chat. What's up, dude? How you doing? Black Knight says he's going for his bachelor's next. Good, very good. Keep going. But yeah, dude. Someone asked me, Kuro. He said, "Why did you choose this career path if not professionally trained?" I chose this because I literally just wanted to just have like it's literally for fun at first. The person who originally thought of the chat tech was actually this guy named Anthony Wilson. When he did it was to just hang out with, you know, Double Toasted fans because we all have that in common. We're Double Toasted fans. And after a while, I was like, dude, like, there's something here, you know, like, there's enough charisma, enough, like, comfortability going on with chemistry and everything that we should talk more. Then I met Ganja. Ganja is actually, at the time, he was a stand-up comedian. I consider him still a stand-up comedian. He just doesn't go out there. And plus, the coronavirus and everything probably kept him from doing that. And then we met Alan, and we met Jet, and then we had people come in, you know, in between that time, like 90s and Ali and people like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as this career path, I don't even consider it as a career path. This is just me having fun, trying to, you know, get something out of this somewhat as far as, like, getting views and everything. But, like, for the most part, really, it's all riddled and fun. Because if this was more miserable, I would just completely fucking be like, fuck that shit. So, yeah, it is what it is. Jet has kept me many a time from fucking leaving, like, years ago. Ain't that right, Jet?
I mean, yeah, but I know deep down you actually do want to do it. You just want to be better at it.
Yeah, which I mean, I feel like most people, no matter what job they do, everyone always wants to be better at something. You know, like whatever they. I mean, it's you should always have that mindset, anyways. It's just how you get better at shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't do work outside of Double Toasted, but I was doing a lot of work outside of Double Toasted. When I first began, I was doing scrap metal stuff, literally like picking apart like machines and computers and shit and junk, and then selling it. So that was a big thing. And then after that, about 2018, I started working at a video game store, and that was fucking miserable. My boss was actually a racist, so that wasn't nice. We started causing a lot of shit with black customers, which was scary considering the fact that he's talking shit through a phone, and I'm over here like, I don't know. And he's like, I'll call the police. I'm like, I'm not gonna call the police. What the fuck? So that kind of shit. It was pretty rough. And then also there was cockroaches in the video game arcade systems. It was fucked up. It was very, very disgusting. I hated that fucking place with a passion. But yeah, Jed? Did you know that place was gonna be shitty for me when we first like went over there? Because I remember like I kept wanting to visit there. Like when me and you would walk by, you know.
Uh, I didn't think that people would be too shitty. Like sometimes you just think of, oh, it's just a little mom and pop shop, like video game store, whatever. It's probably not too bad. But then you actually start working there, and it's just like, eh.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. Thank you for the subscription, though, Mauricio. And also, yeah, so top bunch of channel awesome days. You mean like the 4 days? I remember they had this big blog thingy on thatguywiththeglasses.com. This is before it was called Channel Awesome, and I was obsessed with Nostalgia Critic and obsessed with Angry Video Game Nerd. Still am about Angry Video Game Nerd. James Rolfe is like fucking. I love that guy. And then around that time too, I was like in love with Joe Rogan a lot, and I to this day I won't take away the fact that I was actually super inspired by Joe Rogan, and I was kind of trying to be him for a while. Didn't go that far with the AVGN or Nostalgia Critic route, but like I really, really respect what those guys do. So I just wanted to just get an in somewhere, and there was this girl, that chick with the goggles, that was doing like this whole like she made a post about like we want bloggers on the side. And you can
Is
be
it
working on
that girl with the goggles? Like, why was this whole time I was thinking it was that girl with the glasses?
No, because it was that guy with the glasses. But that girl with the goggles was this black girl who had these huge. I think she actually had goggles, but I've seen her wear glasses before too. But she came after Nostalgia Chick and some other people. But I did a blog thingy like underneath the thing. I forgot what I wrote about. I think I wrote about like remakes, like how people run out of creativity or something. And they didn't like it. I saw someone do my topic though, so maybe I just suck at writing. I don't know what it is, but I was making money working for freelancer, writing articles all the time. I was making like $200 a month just writing articles. So I thought I'd be perfect for that guy with the glasses or Channel Awesome or whatever. But I don't know who was in charge of that. I don't know if it was Doug or if it was that chick with the goggles, but somebody didn't like what I did, and I got fired upon injury. So that's how much I suck. But I don't mind talking about it. It's cool. I suck. It's whatever. You know, what can you do? You know what I mean? But yeah, that sucks. Yeah, Gene's like, it wasn't meant to be. Because here's the thing, too, is like when all that shit was going on with Channel Awesome, I was hoping by that point I would have been like part of Channel Awesome. Like I would have had like my own video review show and shit. And the fact that that didn't happen, I was like, you know, so it is what it is. He's like, he sucked up to better things. Thank you. Actually, so about that, I guess I'll talk about a couple things before everybody gets in here because I do want time for them to come in, the other chat type panel people, so we can do some reviews. But if they don't come in soon, then I'll just do the reviews by myself and everything will be okay. But while we wait, another thing that happened, this is my double toasted story. But Corey, back in like 2015, was looking for an editor. And everybody that would message Corey did not have MacBook. They had Windows. And Corey consistently said, I don't want anybody with Sony Vegas. If you have Sony Vegas, don't even fucking email me. Like, don't go to kkumans@gmail.com. Fuck off. And Danielle was kind of arguing with him, like, well, give them a shot, blah, 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 whatever. But he's like, no, I need someone to have the exact same shit. So me, being a sack of shit, because I didn't have no money, I just lost my job. I just lost, a bunch of other shit that was going on. Then my dad was sick, and then, later on he died and stuff. But I had nothing. I mean, I wanted to get into that double toasted. You know what I mean? So I lied. Sorry. I lied about having Sony Vegas. And instead of asking Corey for permission to edit, I just edit his shit for free and just had a collection of videos. And one day Danielle went on Facebook, and Danielle was like, hey, guys, like, we need an editor. If you guys have Final Cut Pro, whatever, like, definitely. I'm still Corey's editor, Tim. I've been his editor for 7 years straight. So actually, next month will be my 7-year anniversary of being with.
You know what this basically proves, right?
What?
A little line is okay.
A little line is okay, but only if you make sure to have like enough shit to offer. Like if you're lying just to get in, then you're just in and you're like, oh, I'm here, and like whatever, you're being a sack of shit. But I mean, if you can actually deliver on quality and blah blah blah, then it's cool.
Fuck
But
that. I'm gonna lie like crazy.
but the thing is, well, Corey called me out eventually, and I almost lost my job later on. But yeah, Danielle put this thing up on Facebook, and she was like, "Hey, we need editors." And then I came in, lied about not having Sony Vegas, but I make sure to do my videos exactly the way they're done on his YouTube channel from MacBook users, and I was able to do it good enough to where Corey saw. And was like, "Huh, yeah, you are using MacBook because it looks exactly like how we typically do." When he was actually wrong. Got the job, everything was cool, and then he finally found out that I wasn't using Sony. I wasn't using MacBook. I was using Sony Vegas. So I bought a fucking $4,000 MacBook computer. That was rough, and I learned Final Cut. And since then, yeah, I've learned everything about SEO. I've learned Adobe Premiere. I've learned Photoshop. I've learned everything. I had no experience, but sometimes you just gotta throw yourself in the fire and just fucking get them. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But yeah, man, that's pretty much my story. Yeah, it's kind of boring, but
You tell them about the time that you worked the strip with your high heels, and try to be a cowboy in the famous movies down in Nevada.
damn straight. Blasian, yes, most people use Premiere. Corey is really stuck on Final Cut right now, so we still use Final Cut. I really, really don't think we should be using that right now. I think Final Cut kind of sucks, and I think Premiere, since it's on many operating systems, it just makes sense to, but we're still using Final Cut.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, I know of a good program that just came out recently. You might have actually heard about it. You ever heard of use Flash animation?
No, are you making jokes?
Yeah, I'm making jokes on
Okay.
jokes on jokes.
Okay. Because Flash animation is dead.
I know. Rest in peace, all those new Grow games.
Well, if you guys actually like that shit, though, Adobe has a new thing that's like the sequel to that called Adobe Animate, and that's pretty amazing.
Is it better or about the same?
It's the same, but they have like automatic things for people that want to keep coming out with content, like automatic lip flap and stuff. So that shit was actually not too bad. But yeah, I love that stuff. Blaze Michael says, so far I'm training on iMovie, and I'll move on to Final Cut Pro and Premiere. iMovie and Final Cut are very, very similar. The reason why I like Final Cut a little bit more is because on the timeline, you actually get a preview of your shit. The only other thing that does somewhat the same thing is Windows Movie Maker, believe it or not. But Windows Movie Maker is such a terrible, terrible service that just having that ability is not worth it. But yeah, Final Cut would be. I will say Final Cut's easier than Premiere, but if you're going to be trying to get work as an editor, work on Premiere. That's your safest bet. Because right now our other editor, James Mulholland, who works for Double Toast as well, he uses Adobe Premiere. The only problem is he can't get clips. I'm fucking up here. He can't get clips for Corey on the bad movie roasts because he can't use the XML project files from Final Cut that Corey uses. So that's why that's my job. And that's also, just to let you guys know, that's why Apple is a fucked up company. They're assholes. Why the fuck do you have to make a project file that only works for Final Cut, you fucking scumbags? I hate that company with a passion, and they make everything a pain in the ass. But yeah, man, the Mac ran at 4K. Dude, I saw those. Me and Jet and her brother went to Best Buy, and oh god, those MacBook things, like, I wanted all of them, man. Like those.
Really? After all the problems?
Well, because the fucking Windows computers were terrible, dude. We went over there, and I was trying to show Jet. I was like, oh, Jet, ignore all that Apple shit. Let me show you this Windows. And then we're going through, and every computer, bro, was slow, was terrible. That Windows 11, like, look is fucking ugly as shit. Like, Jet can speak, for herself here, man. Those were bad. So I totally get Jet getting her new MacBook, whatever. What's it called, Jet? The new one?
I forgot what it was, but it was the least expensive one out of all of them. But I mean, it still works for what I need it for, and honestly, it's been working pretty great for me.
Yeah, Safe on Talk says, I work as an editor, and yes, learn Premiere if you're trying to get work, can confirm. The end learn basic After Effects for simple things, Premiere can't do. Best advice. Yeah, right there with you, man. After Effects is really, really good if you're doing like intros or something, but you can kind of do that with Adobe Premiere. It just might be a little stiffer. But yeah, man, but Premiere is just the way to go. Blasian Michael, yes, there's DT today. They're going to be starting very, very soon. But I guess we can start there, Mr. Ganja Guru.
What is up, baby?
My boy. So we'll get into the review really quick. And this is something that, you remember not just because of the movie we watched, but you remember this from your own childhood. You've seen this before. But this movie we're about to review was requested through a bit bounty by Tommy, a.k.a. Space Cow. I like that face I just did. I look like a fucking idiot though.
Very sexy, very erotic. I'm turned on. Moist is the word I'm looking for.
Oh yes, so moist. But yeah, guys, if you want to put a bounty on the head of a movie for us to review, you can do so by cheering 500 bits in chat for a movie, or 1,500 for a 22 episode or less season of its TV series, cartoon, anime, limited series, or whatever you do so please. But today's review, sir, is going to be Balto. We're going to start off with that. And then if the show starts by then, we'll probably end the show, and I'll just change the name of the thingy, whatever. But yeah, going to be honest, Balto's not a movie that I heard of before. I didn't necessarily give a ton of shit about that due to the fact that I'm not a fan of anime movies. And this is a film that I don't hear people talk about a lot, man. Like, when Tommy said Balto, the only reason why I knew it was animated is because it's Tommy, because Tommy likes his animation. But, like, I was like, Balto, is that, like, about, like, a toe with balls? Like, I was like, what the fuck could that be?
No, the only time I ever seen balls in animation is that Tanuki anime where they try to attack the village from developing their woods, and they just come out of nowhere, just fly with their nuts out, and start attacking the construction workers.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah, that's an anime by I think the one that makes Howl's Moving Castle and all those Studio Ghibli films.
Shit, yeah, I didn't even know. By the way, Ryan says, it makes me question what VHSs you had in 1995. Dude, I had Freddy's Dead. I had fucking the Jason
Mask.
movies, Predator, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, fucking Mortal Kombat, which was 1995. So, you know, I mean, I got that pretty much instantly when it came out in VHS. But yeah, dude, I wasn't a normal kid, dude. Oh, I had the Flintstones, that big-ass Flintstones DVD, or VHS fucking box set. I love that shit.
Hey, Rosie O'Donnell was great as Betty. Y'all just being sexist.
Yeah, dude, I love that shit. But yeah, man. Really quick, Mauricio says, think everyone who went to elementary in the 2000s watched Balto in class. That probably makes sense. Because some
That
of
was the
this.
only time I watched it.
Oh, really? So that's how you saw this from being in
Yeah,
class?
that's the only way I ever saw this movie was in I think it was the first or second grade. But other than that, I've seen this movie almost 20 plus years.
Really? Okay. Well, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you just watched it because you're like, I want to watch animation. Nah.
A little bit. And also, man, we've been watching a lot of bad comedies lately.
I know we really have, man. And this was not necessarily a bad comedy. Well, like, 'cause it's not even trying to be funny, but you know, on that note, because we're gonna talk about the fact that there's not a lot of funnies here quite a bit. But Jay, I'm gonna ask you, what is your history of this movie? Like, did you also watch this in school?
No, I watched it at home. I think it was on Cartoon Network at some point, and I forgot mostly what happened, but spoiler alert, didn't really like it that much.
Okay. Liking it even less here today, like, you know, like since we watched it, or kind of like relatively the same?
I'm gonna say probably the same, because I'm probably gonna forget about it literally after today.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, this movie pretty much centered around this dog named, you guessed it, fucking Balto, who is a half-breed of a wolf and dog, and in this town full of other dogs and a bunch of, I mean, I don't know if they're racist or not, but like, this is a bunch
Oh,
of
they're
shitty white
racist as
people.
hell, bro.
Because they say some shit that's like, you're at least racist against like dogs, which is weird considering there's a lot of fucking dogs here, and you guys just gather up at these like races and shit, like, woo, dogs! Like, I never seen so many people care so much about dogs. Yet this one dog, fuck him, he's half wolf. Like, okay, crazy. But yeah, it's just a bunch of dogs, bunch of shitty, you know, racist white people. But there's a celebrity dog in the midst of all these named Steel. Now Steel has won this yearly race like about 3 times in a row, and due to that, everybody loves this fucking dog. And I feel like the only thing he's done is win this race. Like, did they mention anything about him like saving a life or saving a kid?
Nah,
or...
nothing so far. It's just established like he's like a top racing dog, and he's like a show dog to just that. And
Yeah.
he does like do like runs because back in those times they did have that where the sled dogs would go back and forth to go pick up certain items that were farther away in a train station.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, nah, they didn't really hint at him being a good person at all.
Yeah, but no, man, but he's won this race, like I said, like 3 times in a fucking row, whatever. And he has, you know, everyone loves this dog despite his like shitty attitude and his very sexual, harassing nature of fucking around with this other dog, which is like this very regal, beautiful dog named Jenna. And you know, despite Jenna's friends Dixie and some other girl dogs, they're like, she hasn't fallen for Stevie, like, or Stevie, I say Stevie, Steel, because he looks like a Stevie. That's not Stevie, right? By the way, or that's not Steel right there. That's Balto. I would look up Steel, but like, I don't know. It's just
He's basically a husky.
yeah. Damn, I like how my bot over here is trying to censor Blasian Michael. It's like, white people are crazy. Like, they're crazy though. Like, what the hell? There should be a lot to be said.
Nah. Fucking Twitch is like, nah, keep that shit to yourself, sir.
I know, man. Like, Jesus. Because I think people have said black people are something, and Twitch is like, no, let that pass. That might be all right. Like, Jesus,
They'll be
Twitch.
alright, man. Maybe they'll just let it slide. Just ignore that.
But yeah, Jenna's friends Dixie and some other girl dogs are fucking super like into Steel, and Jenna just isn't because she's like, yeah, fuck you. Like I like this other dog named Balto, even though everyone treats him like homeless shit. But however, Jenna has her own thing going on. She's taking care of this kid named Rosie. I believe it's. By the way, the chat looks different just because of the. Yeah, Blasian's now like censoring himself by saying why he's like with the people. But Lucuro, yeah, the chat looks different because I'm actually. They did this update on Twitch where it allows you to put emphasis on subscribers, moderators, things like that. And I feel like if I was a subscriber, I would want some kind of emphasis on me. So that's why I'm putting that there. If you want to have that put on yours too, then do that free subscription if you can. If you can't though, it's fine. Hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. Hopefully it's not throwing people off as far as it looking different. But anyways, like I said, Jenna is taking care of this little girl named fucking Rosie, and Rosie is sick with diphtheria or diphtheria.
Look, let's be honest. Plot cancer.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's a super contagious because it's a real thing. It's a super contagious like bacterial disease that, and I wrote it right here, that apparently causes inflamed mucous membranes. So pretty much.
It makes you insane in the membrane.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
But yeah, dude. She's sick with this. And, Jenna is so upset by this that Balto, who's obviously trying to impress her because she's into him, overhears that Steel is leading a group of dogs and some lame-ass dude from the city to go get the medicine. And Balto essentially challenges
Does that dude get a name?
No. Oh, fuck no. He's a guy who falls down and goes and fucking falls asleep and doesn't do anything. That's his name.
I remember at one point the motherfucker, I thought he died a certain way, and Jess is like, no, he's fine. Why? A small animation cut 2 minutes ago showed him all right. All right.
Well, like, that's the thing, though. It's like he lays down. He's, like, stuck there forever. We'll get into that in a minute, but goddamn, it's like he just fucking sits there forever. But Balto essentially channels in his wolf side to go from the city to go get the medicine, and, he wants to lead everybody to go get it. But the big question is, will he be able to make it back before Rosie suffers more heart and nerve damage? Yes, he will. It's a fucking anime movie. It's from the 90s. It's for kids. Of course he's going to. Like, you stupid?
Say Land Before Time. They ain't gonna kill this guy.
But yeah, of course it's not going to happen. But, what bullshit is going to go on essentially during all of this? And yeah, that's basically the synopsis. Now, I'll be right back because Corey's calling me. But Ganja, tell people why you feel the way you feel about this movie. And I'll be right back, sir.
I think my honest opinion with this movie is I was really kind of bored. I don't know about you, Jet, but I felt like this movie was very heavily baited on the fact that it was cute little animals talking and just doing weird stuff, because like a lot of like the comedic reliefs weren't funny. Like they introduced these polar bear characters later on that are raised by the same father figure that Balto was raised by, and it's never funny. It's never cutesy. It's actually quite annoying. They give them these really annoying British accents that just make them feel like these like either posh or really cockney kind of assholes hanging out with each other. And the only thing I really enjoyed was the Goose character. What about you, Jet?
I didn't like anyone in this fucking movie.
Not even the Goose character, because I thought he was funny, like as being the parental figure.
I thought he was the second most annoying character in here, besides the fucking polar bears.
Yeah,
the polar bears.
The polar bears were way fucking worse. All right, like down to the point that they introduced a what is it called? A struggle for them, like almost like 20 minutes into the final act of the movie, where now suddenly we're gonna learn to do this quote unquote object that we haven't been able to do that every other animal can do in our species.
Oh yeah, and we can reveal it now because I had to talk about that. You made me laugh my ass off. Ganja lost his shit because Locke and Mock, these two characters, or Muck and Luck, my bad. Muck and Luck were like, yo, we can't swim. We're polar bears. Like, we can't do this, whatever. And then they actually fall, like, in the ice and the water, like, brrr, brrr, and, I mean, it looks awful. And Ganja is roaring with laughter. It's just like, just fucking screaming and torturous, like, laughter. It was the funniest fucking thing.
All right. I wasn't laughing at the polar bears, all right? And them almost drowning, even though they're aquatic polar bears. But besides that, I was laughing at something way more fucked up.
Oh, what?
All right. Before that scene happens where the polar bears fall in, our hero here, Balto, attempts to cross this like dangerous ice challenge, essentially, and he falls to the ice. But right before he falls through the ice, this motherfucker does the thing where he starts running in place like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And as the ice starts to flip up, he's still running sideways like the Titanic as he's going down. I found that shit hilarious.
It was
I picture Benito doing that shit, falling into a lake or some shit.
Yeah, dude. I didn't know this because I heard the music for Phil Collins. I didn't know he was doing the voices for the Bears, even though in the very beginning, they say his name like voices provided by, and it shows their name and shit. Boris. So I like the Goose. I thought Boris was kind of funny, but that's the biggest thing about this that was kind of frustrating. Is like most of this movie, it's not really all that funny because like I guess they're trying to make this like slightly like enjoyable from adults maybe because there's like some parts that are a little intense, especially like some jokes that are made about sexual things or blah blah blah. And I was like,
That
yeah,
bear scene was brutal.
yeah, it was really brutal. That big the big bear. That was
But
trying to
Jeff's got a point. Like, aren't y'all polar bears? Do something.
yeah,
Weak ass fucking bears. It's just like you're gonna have the fucking half dog, half wolf take on this big ass, probably 600-pound fucking bear, while you two are just like,
what do we do? Whoa. Even Jenna
like
goes
you
over there
do
and
too.
fights him.
Yeah, like the two dogs doing shit while these two scary ass polar bears. I mean, I guess they were kids or whatever, but both of them standing back and not doing nothing. Both of you together could have at least fought more than fucking Balto and the actual Siberian fucking husky. Just like fight back, bitch. Put your hands up.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of weird. And even, I mean, I'm going to be honest, even Balto starts losing some Balto because he starts, like, crawling back, like, getting away, and he's, like, hiding in these, like, branches and shit. And I was like, that's kind of strange, too. Like, why is he doing that? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things here that are just very, very questionable. But it's like
why would we send one set of team sled dogs when it clearly shows that there's a town full of sled dogs?
and why isn't the human smarter than the dog? Because the dog was leaning away, essentially.
Man,
And
the dogs are so smart they could tie a knot around a human and tie him into a stretcher. That shit was a fucking amazing.
it was amazing, but then it's like, well, there's things that don't, like, why is Steel, like, I know everyone loves Steel. He's really good at racing or whatever. That's cool. He's probably strong. He's badass. And he's smart. But it's like he clearly doesn't know what he's doing. Like this survival wolf dog Balto, like he knows what he's doing. He's like scratching the trees to kind of like let people know like okay, like this is how we get back. Blah blah blah. Like he's a survivor and shit. But they didn't like find out who is a survivor-ish dog. They didn't train them. Like how did these people know to come back too? Like I mean, there's a kid sick here with diphtheria, whatever the fuck it's called. And you guys are all like, just like, I hope this dog knows where the fuck he's going. Like, it's stupid as fuck. Like, I don't really understand. I didn't understand that. But I'm not gonna like, nitpick the movie for that. But there is some bit here where I'm like, well, even if it adds 5
I mean, if
minutes
you
to this
nitpick
movie,
that, let's be honest. The way Steele gets onto the dog sled team is pretty ridiculous too. He literally
Yeah.
steps on the Balto's paw right in front of the dude, and Balto goes, "Ow, my foot!"
I
And
know.
like, oh
He's
no,
like,
he's still ravenous.
yeah, look at him. What a pussy. Fuck him. We're gonna go with Steel. It's like, didn't Balto just win? And then you guys were talking earlier about maybe Steel is getting like slower with age or whatever because Balto. That's kind of twice that Balto beat him slightly because the first time he was trying to go get a purse and he like fucking like served up like Steel. So I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, like those things are somewhat questionable, but it is what it is, not a big deal. But yeah, like I guess the thing that I'm really, really kind of like about overall with the movie is like there wasn't enough shit going on as far as like the jokes and everything, which it's fine. It makes it for an easier watch. It's not as annoying. But I'd rather the movie do a gamble of trying to be funny and trying to do something for the kids because it's already a kids movie. So keep the kids entertained. And then maybe I might find it entertaining. And if I don't, well, I'll find this thing that I wasn't going to watch anyways to be annoying. But instead, it just becomes boring because as a kid, and I'm a kid in my fucking head, as a kid in my head, I would say I would not want to watch this movie because it's like too surface level. It's too chill. But like Jed, did you feel that way? Did you feel like this was way too like just like right here mid?
It was mid all the way. Like I said, I watched this when I was a kid. Like this movie came out the time I was born. And it's just like watching it later. It's just like this movie would not have held my attention even if I was young, like even younger when I saw it the first time. It's just boring. I feel like this is more for maybe teens around like 15, 16, because I guess they could appreciate more. Younger kids, I feel like they just find this very, very boring.
Nah,
And not really realize what's really going on. That makes sense.
I can see that. Yeah, it would be really like, wow, like this is fucking. It's just, yeah, you can't. Like people say, this is a good babysitter movie. Like, no, because that kid would start fucking with things, start making a fucking mess, like, just doing shit, just whatever they can do to fucking entertain themselves. Because this movie's just like can you watch it? There's no point where you go like, oh, well, when that big bear comes, yeah. And then in the beginning, Boris almost gets his head chopped off. There's a dude, a butcher, who gets a knife. He's like, fuck, he's about to cut his fucking head off. That was pretty cool. But
And
like,
he falls next to like clearly killed brethren of his race,
yeah,
hung
yeah,
out like nothing.
yeah, dude. So like, there's moments like that where I'm like, okay, this could have been. I don't know. I just needed more, man. It just needed something more. So I don't know.
It felt boring, and you shouldn't feel bored when you're watching animation.
You really shouldn't, man. But I'm gonna give this points as far as like when I'm gonna review this because now I'll get into ratings. For me personally, the romance I thought was kind of boring too, but it was like not so ridiculous. They are dogs, and Jenna is preoccupied dealing with her thing with Steel, and then dealing with like Dixie, kind of like, come on, you want to fuck, like let's do that, like he's hot as fuck, girl. Why don't you want to bang, that shit, and then the Rosie thing, and this is where like I'm mostly not liking this movie. So right away, I'm giving this a 2 out of 5 because there's a lot of stuff here that works, and even though like it's not super fun or entertaining, as an adult, I could sit myself down and watch this with a kid to be like, yeah, like this is not annoying. But where I'm like, what the fuck was the point in this? Is that the movie starts off in live action and it's Rosie as an adult. She's a grandma now, and she's like, man, we got the statue here, and this is the dog, and and I'm thinking like, oh, this is the dog that like killed somebody, or this is a dog that like pulled her out of a fire, or some crazy, amazing story about this dog, whether he's a bad guy or a good guy. The story is he went to go get medicine for her once, and then she like got through her sickness.
That's the one that I kept clowning throughout the movie. It's like, damn, she really knew a lot from just not being there.
Yeah, she was a little kid. She don't know shit about any of this. Like the
And
dog
then
go,
Boris and the
like,
two polar bears went on an adventure with Balto. Damn, that was a hell of a fever dream you had, Grandma.
yeah, like as a kid, I'd be like, Grandma, that sounds insane. That did not happen at all. I bet like there's a lot of people that are dead from like her past, like people older than her. Like, bitch, how dare you tell that story without saying that we were there and saying that we were a bunch of bears and fucking dogs and shit. You know what I mean?
That was your uncle that went to the snow and barely died. That dog did shit.
Yeah, so that was the thing where I was like, okay, like that's fucking silly. Why is this story even worth telling? And the idea is that like she tells this story, right? Well, she leaves with the kid, but does this crazy old bitch end up like bugging the kid every single fucking day for the rest of her life? Because there's a Balto 2, and a Balto 3, and a Balto 4.
That has to do with their kids and shit. Those are always fucking terrible.
But like, what studio executive?
Balto only got like 13 years. He can't last that long.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what studio executive said this is so fucking popular? This is such a great story. We need more Balto. Like this thing must have been really inexpensive then, or something.
When it comes to like animated movies that have to do with like, especially wolves or like Siberian Huskies, like they will make so many sequels that have to do with their kids, like their fucking offspring and shit. Look at how many Alpha and Omega movies there are.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, like, and well, look all the Land Before Time thing. There's a ton of them. Airbud. Like, yeah, it's fucking crazy. There's a lot of sequels to a lot of these stupid ass movies. I remember when you talked about this too, Jet, when we did the review for what was that one with the mouse?
Stuart Little.
No, wait, was it Stuart Little?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Stuart Little. Sir.
I can't believe I forgot the name of the fucking All right, I could have sworn mouse was in the title though. Like that's kind of odd. But yeah, it's just like I'm like when we talked about this, I was just kind of like American Tail is another one. That's the one I was kind of wanting to bring up. But yeah, there's like 5 of fucking those, and I'm just like, is that how? Like I imagine like kids most of the time will be taken to the movie theater by their parents, and then obviously people don't expect that to do very very well in weekend box office back in the day. But did these do that good on VHS? Like it's like I can't.
Bro, this was the height of this VHS shit.
Yeah, like it's fucking insane. But yeah, 1995 Balto, I give it 2 out of 5.
Them grandmas are really putting in the money's worth of getting these sequel movies from the fucking Walmart bin.
Yeah, they really
My
are.
favorite were the CVS ripoffs like Aladdin and His Greatest Adventures.
Yeah. Oh God, that Aladdin. That's a whole other fucking. I can't stand Aladdin. I've never seen it, but Robert Williams. Oh, I'm gonna be loud and blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. But Jet, I gave it 2 out of 5. What would you give this? And any lasting comments that you want to throw out there?
Like I said, I didn't have fun with this at all. I didn't get really any enjoyment out of it. Like even like I mean like Does it look all right? Yeah, fun. But for me, it still looked very murky and everything like that. I mean, I guess it makes sense considering like where they were and like what the story was, but it's just like that doesn't really catch my attention. Like it wasn't that fun to look at. Story wise, like it's based on a true story and everything like that, but it's just so kidified that it's just kind of like it's goofy, but it's not a fun goofy, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just not an enjoyable watch. It's just a boring ass dog movie. That's and all. It's also like fucking like snow, like dog sledding too, and God.
Oh man, I
I
wish
hate
someone
it.
paid us to watch that movie, Dog Sled.
Oh my God, that's even. I would that be considered a sports movie? I put that as a sports movie.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of as a sports movie. It has the
Yeah.
same beats.
I feel that's also where I'm just kind of like, oh my fucking God. 'Cause when it comes to me in sports movies, I tune the fuck out.
Well, it's so
With
obvious
both
where they're
I
gonna go
tried
with
it.
it. Usually, that's the problem.
Oh, and during the when he was like bringing like when he found how did I say this? So many people should have died during that time when Balto got there. The fucking box says fragile. How the hell you gonna fall off a fucking goddamn cliff and all those glass ass bottles are still all right?
Yeah, you're right. Well, no,
That
Movie
but you know
just
what? They
magic.
fell with the floor though. That's ice floor. Maybe for them, it didn't feel like it was going. It was just going like.
nah, that
Oh.
shit would have broke, especially from the fall. And then Balto, I guess with his fucking Spider-Man powers, able to fucking climb up that
Yeah,
whole thing with the fucking box.
and then he show
And
his hand
then
like, oh sorry.
no, and then afterwards, it's just a whole like I guess him getting there wasn't no fucking problem, but getting back was the real problem because then they just come after like different things and different things and different things. Like, oh, they go through like they get through a fucking avalanche because they find a fucking cave, and then the shit with the icicles that could have obviously impaled the fuck out of them. No one gets fucking hurt, and then during that scene was the only time when oh shit, the box is breaking and some of the medicines falling out. You mean to tell me that box did not break when Balto and that box went down that big old fucking cliff? You are fucking out of your
Oh no,
goddamn
Jet,
mind.
Jet, Jet. You're missing a very important part. Don't you miss when the fucking box was starting to fall apart and Balto just jumps in the middle of the air and kicks it closed and then somehow lands back on his feet and starts running again?
Well, like the thing is, like I think that's where the movie actually just kind of just like okay, now you're getting on my nerves because just like yeah, it's a kids movie and everything, but the stuff that you're fucking doing is just come on now. It's just like you had no problems getting there, but when you're coming back, all of a sudden all this fucking different shit happens. Just like man, this movie's been boring as fuck until like these last like 15 minutes. You know, we're gonna have to throw everything at fucking Balto right now to make it seem like he's not gonna get back to give them that fucking medicine.
Yeah. No,
And
that was
also,
ridiculous.
that fucking dude who was on the like who was actually supposedly what is it was with the dogs, the human, he got tossed around so much he was like bonked his head, fell in the snow, got put back on the sled by the dogs somehow they tied the fucking knot to him, and then also flipped off the sled again and doesn't go down the cliff that Balta falls down, but it's just like that dude should be dead. That dude should be fucking dead. He got a concussion and he went to fucking sleep. That dude should be fucking
All
dead.
of it's a hallucination. This didn't really happen. This is just a concussion the guy experienced.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing. It's like so much of this is just like when you bring it back to live action at the end and try to bring some reality to it. It's like now this whole thing falls apart. You know, it
This
was fine
fucking
as an animated movie, but
fucking superhero powered fucking dog. Like damn, grandma. I guess you really did add in a whole bunch of
and
fucking
then at
shit.
the
Did you
end,
fuck clock your head?
right before Jet's review, because I think this is gonna be the most important thing about her review. At the end, when everything happens and old grandma walks around, old grandma Rosie with her stupid little kid, yeah, fuck that kid. But they walk, and then it fades out, goes, based on a true story. And I was like, you motherfucker. Like,
Like
really?
the true story ain't nothing like that.
Yeah,
Like you
bullshit.
guys took some major liberties. Like why don't you have a fucking alien in there? Why don't you? But yeah,
There was a
one
snow
point five out of
tornado.
five.
Whoa, some shit.
But
Yeah.
yeah, 1.5 out of 5. I will not watch this again.
Gotcha. How about you, man? What would you rate
I'm
this?
same thing. 1 point out of 5, bro. Like this is This is love there, even for a child movie. Like this is boring. This is something that you put in the background. We need something to just have on in the background.
Yeah, man. But yeah, guys. That being said, we're gonna get out of here. Normally I would do fun size and the other thing, but we're missing a guy. And if it's not done tomorrow, then I'll review them myself tomorrow. And that'll just be it. And yeah, that'll be, I don't know, cause like Ganja and Allen are gonna be in I was gonna say New Mexico, in Las Vegas, very very soon. So we'll see what happens with that. But I know that's not what you guys voted for. You guys want Allen to review Fun Size, but if he's not here, and I'll do it, and hopefully I can entertain you guys as much as I can. But I will definitely be here. You guys are stuck with me. But that being said, though, guys, we are gonna go home. It's time to get out of here. I'm going to be telling you guys where to go find my boys at twitch.tv/Birdman Alley. You can find him over there doing his thing whenever he comes back. If he's going to be continuing doing his thing, I don't know, but you guys can see that in the future. And you can go check out Ganja stuff. He'll be updating all you guys over there at twitter.com/@the Red Ganja Guru. Now, that being said,
Already know, baby.
we out of here, peoples. Goodbye. Stay healthy.
Toasted like my nuts.
Oh, that's not good at all.
Open fire, fresh. Like a plane ride.
People, goodbye. Talk to you later.
Fight the power.